So we're starting a couple of minutes late because we're keeping you apprised of that weather. We'll continue to follow that weather situation out there just to the north and now west of DIA. We'll get back to Danielle in just a few minutes. Now we turn to the news on this Friday afternoon. And a former Loveland police officer today was sentenced for failing to intervene, and it's believed to be the first time that an active or former law enforcement officer here in Colorado has been sentenced under the state's new failure to intervene law.
Daria Jalali was one of two officers involved in the arrest last year of Karen Gardner, a 73-year-old woman with dementia. Here is 9 News crime and justice reporter Matt Chablo.
A little bloody and little muddy, that's how it works.
She failed in every aspect of what she did.
2 years after Loveland police violently arrested a 73-year-old woman with dementia, the second officer involved in the case faced the consequences of what she did that day, or rather, what she did not do.
In you go. Do not hook onto him.
On June 26th of 2020, Loveland police officers Austin Hopp and Daria Jalali arrested 73-year-old Karen Gardner, who had walked out of a nearby Walmart without paying for about $13 worth of goods. During the arrest, Hopp forced Gardner's arm behind her back, put her in handcuffs, and took her to the ground. Gardner ended up with a broken shoulder and was placed in a holding cell for several hours without medical treatment. Hopp and Jalali were then seen on police station surveillance video laughing about the incident as they watched the body camera video. Hopp pleaded guilty to assault and was sentenced to 5 years in prison. Jalali pleaded guilty to a single misdemeanor charge of failing to intervene. During sentencing on Friday, she apologized to Gardner and her family and said she regretted not confronting Hopp during the arrest. The judge in the case told Jalali that her obligation to intervene was painfully obvious and her failure to do so incomprehensible. He then sentenced her to 45 days in jail and 36 months probation. Do you think justice was served today?
Yes, I do. I feel like she's still kind of a little bit proud of herself still. I think it'll take time.
Afterwards, Gardner's children said they were pleased with the sentence and hopeful that it would send a message.
We wish, that Loveland Police Department, would really take this seriously and they would use this case, to justify cleaning it up.
Her family says Gardner remains in a 24/7 memory care facility in Arapahoe County. They say at this point she has no memory of being arrested last year and was not aware of today's court proceedings. Kim and Tom.
Yeah, it's difficult for them to deal with that too, but to relive this all the time with this video, but it sounds like they have just a higher calling right now to change things.
The final chapter, at least for now, in this long proceeding for that family.
All right, thank you, Matt. Investigators are now calling threats made against 5 Denver metro area community colleges a hoax. Those campuses closed down or were put on lockout today. 9 News reporter Courtney Yoon joins us now here. And Courtney, you spoke with police about this.
Yeah, Kim, there wasn't a lot police could tell me about these threats today. Everything is still under investigation, but law enforcement is now calling this a hoax. Threats were made against Arapahoe Community College, Community College of Aurora, Community College of Denver, Front Range Community College, and Red Rocks Community College. Some of the campuses were on lockout while others closed down for the day. On the Aurora campus, Metropolitan State University of Denver and University of Colorado Denver were also closed. Arapahoe Community College Police Sergeant K.W. Moreland says several individuals at different colleges received a threatening email shortly after midnight. Investigators did not want to give any details about the contents of that threat. The Westminster Police Department said the threats were sent by a person who's still unknown who was pretending to be someone else.
There was information contained in the threat about a specific person saying, I'm this person, I'm making the threat. Here's what I'm going to do. So we quickly were able to contact that person in person and determine that the person had not sent the threats.
Investigator Spocky with Westminster Police says the person whose name was used to send the threats had no connection to any of those schools. Front Range Community College will close campus tomorrow. The Aurora campus says it will be open and back to normal tomorrow. Though there were no threats made at CU Boulder or CU Colorado Springs, both campuses closed for the day as a precaution. Kim.
Took a while to get this thing sorted out. Thank you, Courtney.
Well, as you know, if you joined us right at the top of the hour, it's been already a very busy afternoon weather-wise. The threat of land spouts near Aurora, out by DIA with a flash flood risk in Larimer County.
But one of the National Weather Service's main tools for telling people about these weather threats isn't working. NWS is unable to send messages right now through the Wireless Emergency Alert System, or WEA. Those are those Amber Alert style messages that reach out to cell phones in a certain area. NWS says it can't send those messages right now because of an issue with FEMA. Local emergency managers aren't impacted by the problem and can still send them. The head of the Larimer Emergency Telephone Authority says if there's an urgent threat in Larimer County, and they've seen a lot of flash flood warnings, they will send messages on the Weather Service's behalf.
Or you could just wait for Danielle to tell you about what is going on, because we had a fast start to our Friday afternoon, Danielle, with that sudden tornado warning that popped up near DIA.
You're telling me, guys. Yes, things getting pretty fun back here in the Weather Center right now. That tornado warning has since expired, so we'll turn our attention to the crazy heat that we had to deal with today. It was a record breaker in Denver. 99 was our old record. Today going down in the record books at 101. Can you believe it? If you were out and about, even early this morning, you probably felt just how toasty it was. Out at DIA, where we did see some of that rain come through, as well as the cloud cover, it has dropped off our temperatures into the lower 90s. Thank goodness. Still some triple digits around Ray, Sterling, Sidney, and then all the way up into Nebraska as well as Kansas. 70s in Kremling through Steamboat, and we're still in the 90s out to the west. 100 in Greeley, 86 in Boulder, as well as Littleton. So with some clouds on the west side, that is allowing our temperatures to drop off just a bit. Still going to be quite an active afternoon in and around parts of the Denver metro area, and certainly up in the mountains and through the foothills. We do have some flash flooding concerns going for parts of our burn scars, so I'll be monitoring that. As we zoom back in toward DIA, you'll notice that cell just to the north of Denver County, now sitting in Adams County, about to cross I-76. We have not seen any kind of radar indicated rotation, as hopefully it is weakening. Again, back up into Larimer County, where we have the flash flood warning in place until 5 p.m. The Cameron Peak burn scar I'll be keeping a close eye on as far as seeing all of that rainfall coming through. 5, 6 o'clock, we'll still be watching a few thunderstorms moving across the Denver area. By about 7 o'clock, we're just left with mostly cloudy skies, and by late tonight, all of these showers begin to wind down. As we look ahead toward the weekend, we once again will be tapping back into the monsoon, so still have some flash flooding concerns out there. The good news is we should find some relief from the heat, but how quickly does that arrive and how long does it last? I'll have those answers in about 10 minutes.
Just a really sad story out of Aurora. Aurora police need help finding a driver who hit and killed a man and 2 dogs early this morning. South Reservoir Road was closed for hours as police investigated. 9 News reporter Noel Brennan visited the scene and talked to neighbors who heard the crash but didn't know how awful it was.
If the driver on South Reservoir Road had a conscience, he ignored it coming around the curve.
You just never know, what people are capable of when it comes to certain things.
Sonia Velez saw the flashing lights from Aurora police outside her window.
I assumed that somebody, hit something, but I didn't know at that point.
There was cop cars all over the place.
Her son EJ heard the crash.
Really loud bang. It was kind of surprising.
At 2:30 a.m., Aurora police say a man driving an SUV south on Reservoir left the road. He wiped out signs, an electrical box, even a bus stop, and took the lives of a man and 2 dogs on the sidewalk.
Never would have thought that it was a car, not only hitting something, but hitting a person and animals and killing them.
Aurora police say the driver abandoned his car.
How could somebody do that to leave somebody?
And the 41-year-old man he hit.
It's messed up.
Whether it was, intentional or not, they intentionally left.
Police are looking for the driver who left a victim and apparently a conscience behind.
Yeah, it's shocking when you think about what happened right outside your back fence.
Noel Brennan, 9 News.
Police are trying to find the registered owner of the SUV. If you saw the crash or you have any dash cam video, Aurora police would like you to give them a call.
It's been nearly a week since a deadly hit-and-run crashed, and 2 friends of the man who's now locked up for fleeing the scene on foot, well, these 2 say their anger will never go away. Austin Barch and Alex Casper both admit they weren't wearing seatbelts last weekend. They were riding in the car driven by Taylor Lindsey, they say. Police say Lindsey drove his car into a Volkswagen at 40th and Pena. Inside of that car was Jake Johnson, who was killed. Lindsey's passengers say that he needs to pay for running away, leaving them seriously hurt at the scene of the crash.
I mean, he's my best friend, so I don't know why he would do that. So it just made me really angry that he just left us.
I'm pretty mad that he ran. Yeah.
He left people that he said on a day-to-day basis that he cares about. And I mean, we were pretty much left to die.
Lindsey was on probation when the crash happened 2 years ago. He shot a man and was arrested for criminal attempt to commit murder. Well, now he may be serving more prison time on top of the suspended 8-year sentence from that 2020 case. You can hear more from the passengers coming up on 9 News at 5. Today, a medical examiner in Georgia confirmed that Demarius Thomas died due to complications from a seizure disorder.
Thomas experienced seizures for a few years, which started in 2019, shortly after he was in a car crash. We also learned earlier this year that Thomas had stage 2 CTE when he died. That's a brain disease caused by repeated hits to the head, like Thomas sustained throughout his football career. The medical examiner said they could not determine whether his CTE caused the seizures or what role it played in his death. Thomas retired from the NFL in June of 2021, hadn't really played since 2019. He died December 9th, just before his birthday, in his home in Georgia. He was 33 years old.
Down to training camp where the Broncos took it easy again today. This after day in pads yesterday, and the pads are going to be back on tomorrow. But overall, the workload's been light compared to previous camps. So our Broncos insider joins us now from down in Dove Valley. And Mike, we've seen the distinct differences between a Nathaniel Hackett camp and most of the previous training camps here. The lack of hitting appearing to be among the most notable.
Sure is. I mean, first of all, the collective bargaining agreement that was renegotiated a couple of years ago took away a lot of the hitting. There's no more two-a-days in training camp for any NFL team. That second workout is a walkthrough. So you start there, but Hackett has taken it even further. Every third day, he has a jog through. So far, the Broncos have had 9 training camp practices. 3 of them have been jog throughs like today, and a jog through is just maybe 10% higher speed than a walkthrough. The players all love it. I'm not sure the fans watching the action, you know, they don't have to pay anything, and they get their money's worth when they watch a jog through. And and then there's going to be a second day off starting on Sunday. It does make those padded practices more interesting and you know, to watch and worth evaluating. But it's definitely much lighter this year under Camp Hackett.
Certainly will get more interesting when the Cowboys come to town next week, but it is camp, and the battle for jobs always a big part of camp. The right guard position seems to be up for grabs. Quinn, the belly, Miners, is vying for that job. But Mike, it looks like there might be less belly to the belly this year.
Yeah, when you're in an offense and they want your offensive linemen to move more than they have in the past, you don't want to be nicknamed the belly. And so Quinn Miners has lost 10 pounds. He's down to 320, 315, and he's made the ultimate sacrifice for a Wisconsin native. He's given up dairy. You can imagine how difficult that is. Cut out a lot of cheese, the whole milk, fatty meats, and so he is moving better, as he will have to. And it does look like he does have that right guard position solidified. He was rotating with Natane Muti last week, but it's been all Quinn Miners this week.
Well, the rest of us are picking up the slack as far as eating dairy while he cuts back.
I will eat his cheese.
We're doing our part.
No cheese curds for the Wisconsin guy.
That's send him my way.
Mike, we will see you coming up with more at 5 o'clock. Thanks. We'll be right back.